Alright, hello guys and welcome to this video. In today's video, I have a super exciting update for you guys on this major winter storm. Now, keep in mind if you live in the Midwest or the Northeast or somewhere that gets a lot more snow, this might not be major for you, but for North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, areas like that, this is definitely a major winter storm and not an every year event for them, so that's why it's considered major. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. So let's get right into things. Now, first things first, we're going to be looking at our NAM 3KM model, and a lot of people do not like this model because it tends to overdo snowfall totals, but keep in mind I am going to show you the snowfall totals on this model, the RGEM, the GFS, and the European model at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that, and also our official snowfall forecast, which is very exciting. The RGEM and the NAM 3KM are actually in great agreement, and that's good because we're less than 48 hours away, so we have to start using these short range models like the NAM, the RGEM, and models like that. So it's good to see these models in good agreement, the ones that typically do good within this time frame. I'm using the 3KM model though, however, out of the two of them because it's more high resolution, so you can see details a little better. This is going to be by Thursday morning. We can see a lot of precipitation down there for the deep south, even in through Tennessee. Snow, not really anywhere except for maybe the mountains in North Carolina and Arkansas. But let's move on a frame. And this is only going to be 2 hours later. This is going to be maybe 10 a.m. by tomorrow morning on Thursday, February 20th, and you can see a little bit of snow there for southern Tennessee and then through the mountains of North Carolina starting up already here by this point. Now, we're about to move on and take a look at when a lot of blue is going to start showing up on this map, which is going to be very exciting to take a look at with you guys. Alright, on this frame you can see this is going to be more about 12 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday, February 20th, and we can see a lot of snow there for the eastern 2/3 of Tennessee, I would say, and in through North Carolina, and we see the northern, really far northern areas of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia getting maybe a bit of snow or mixing going on. I flirted with this idea yesterday and showed you guys, and sure enough, the models are sticking with that idea there. Now we see the snow entering into North Carolina. Let's move on, and this is going to be by about 2 p.m. Tomorrow, Thursday, February 20th still. And we see now it's kind of tapering off for some of the western regions of Tennessee. And then in through Virginia, we're starting to see snow in the western portions and also a lot of North Carolina. Now, that rain-snow line is pretty far north at this point, but you got to remember this is midday. The cold temperatures haven't come in fully yet, so we're going to see that rain snow line as we move on, head further and further south as we head into Thursday night. That's what I talked about yesterday, and that's still the case today. Let's go ahead and move on towards about 3 p.m. We can see the snow is really starting to spread out by tomorrow afternoon. Let's move on towards 4 p.m. and we can see that there is a lot of deeper blue showing up, and this is indicating our heavier snow is starting to show up as our low pressure system is offshore now. It's going to start to intensify as it moves over the ocean, but we do see definitely some very heavy snowfall going on for North Carolina and heading into southeastern Virginia. Now we're about to move on further into the afternoon, 5, 6, 7 p.m. and take a look at what's going to happen as the sun starts to go down. Now, this is going to be, again, by about 5 p.m., I would say, on this frame, and we see southeastern Virginia up through Williamsburg, the eastern shore as well, all being taken over by snow, maybe even Richmond here by this point. So things have really trended north to where a lot of areas further north might even see some snowflakes here that weren't expected originally. We definitely see, you could tell there's a big area of heavy snow from, I would say, maybe the very western regions of North Carolina there, up through into the north central regions of North Carolina and in through northeastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia there. That's definitely looking to be our bullseye for heaviest snow at this point. Let's move on towards 6 p.m. and we can see southeast Virginia definitely being taken over still by moderate to heavy snowfall. So by this point, it's definitely sticking no matter how warm the air is or how warm the ground is, because the heavier snow, it could melt on contact to begin things and get the ground kind of wet, and it might take about 30 minutes or an hour of moderate to heavy snow to start sticking, but once it does, it's going to start sticking quickly because we have very, very heavy snow here. Now let's move on another frame by about, this will be by about 8 p.m., and we see definitely heading up almost to Maryland and Delaware there, so heading pretty far north. It starts to curve a little bit up the coast, but definitely we see our heaviest snow is from Raleigh up through Norfolk and maybe even the northeastern corner there of North Carolina as well. That's where I expect the bullseye to show up from Raleigh up through, I would say, into Norfolk and then down through that northeastern corner of North Carolina, like I said before. Now we're about to move on where we're going to see the snow get even heavier here as we head towards about 10 p.m. tomorrow night. All right, now again, this is by 10 p.m. tomorrow night, Thursday, 20th, and we see that very heavy snow showing up there for northeastern North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, maybe even going up into the eastern shore. They're kind of a wild card, I would say. If it has less curvature to it, the eastern shore will get less. If it has more curvature to it, you folks will get maybe just as much as Norfolk and all them to your south. So it definitely depends on the curvature of the storm here. We're leaning towards you guys might even be a little bit in the bullseye in the southern half there of the eastern shore of Virginia. We'll see that on our snowfall forecast and the modeled snowfall at the end of this video, like I said before. Let's go ahead and move on towards about 12 a.m., starting to head into Friday, February 21st. And you can see the snowfall is a little less heavy by this point, but definitely still falling at a moderate pace there for southeastern Virginia, central North Carolina, and northeastern North Carolina. Now, if you've been paying attention, you would see that the colder air is moving in, and we're seeing the snow rain line definitely moving further and further south as we move on here. Now, if you live at or around the Chesapeake Bay, you must know that there could be some bay effect snow or enhanced snow around here that could lead to heavier snow for a lot of areas in Virginia and the eastern shore as well. So the Hampton Roads area, eastern shore, as well as some areas a little bit further north than Hampton Roads. These areas typically do see bay effect snow, and we see the winds heading directly south, and that's what's going to end up happening here. So I do expect that throughout the day Friday we have a chance for bay effect snow, which could lead to an extra inch or two of snow for some areas. So keep that in the back of your head. This model isn't quite high resolution enough to pick up on that, but we will be talking about that more as we head towards tomorrow, and later on that'll definitely be a threat we have to talk about. But again, this was by about 12 a.m. and then as we head towards maybe 2 a.m., we can see it's definitely heading further south. This is when it's heading directly south, so that's when we would be talking about maybe bay effect. We see some deeper blue still, so areas of heavier snowfall going on there. And then as we head towards 4 a.m. for southeastern Virginia, it's maybe coming to an end, but again, we could be talking about bay effect snowfall, so keep that in mind. And you can see even southern North Carolina and northern South Carolina getting a little bit of snow at the end of this storm. And then a few hours later, as we're approaching maybe 7 a.m. or sunrise, it's basically said and done. We see that southeastern portion of North Carolina getting a bit of snow, but that's just snow showers, and it will basically be done after that point. Now we're about to start talking about our modeled snowfall forecasts and then our official snowfall forecast, which is going to be very exciting to take a look at with you guys. All right, so as you can see here, this is our 3km NAM model, and this is the model we just used. Now, the thing you must know about the NAM model is that it overdoes snowfall just a bit, and by just a bit, I mean maybe double here. We see 14, 16 inches there for central North Carolina. I would definitely cut those in half. I think there is a good threat for 6 to 10 inches of snow to set up in the bullseye, but that's only a chance. I think definitely 3 to 6 is a lock for northeastern North Carolina, southeastern Virginia, and even through north central North Carolina. You'll see that on my official snowfall forecast. And there is the possibility for me having to upgrade this to 6 to 10 inches in tomorrow's video, but definitely I don't think we will be seeing 10 to 15 inches of snow set up anywhere. So just know that that's a little overdone on this 3km model, the 3km NAM model, sorry, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning of the video. Now, here's your RGEM model, and I think this one's a lot more realistic. I think it's a little bit far west, but definitely those 3-inch amounts to maybe 6 inches is definitely very realistic for our bullseye areas here. Then here's our GFS model, which I also think is a lot more realistic, definitely seeing 3 to 6 inches of snow set up for southeastern Virginia, northeastern North Carolina, and then through central North Carolina. Definitely a very realistic outlook there. And then here's your European model, which also has a very realistic outlook. So you can see all the models are in really good agreement by this point, which is not something that we had as of yesterday. So it's really good to see them agree upon something, and it's giving us a lot more confidence in our snowfall forecast here. Now let's get started with our official snowfall forecast. Our first frame is going to be our dusting to 3-inch area, and you can see from areas from Tennessee, a bit of Kentucky, and then in through Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, we all are expecting the potential for a dusting to 3 inches of snow. Now for our 3 to 6 inch layer, you can see here north central North Carolina, northeastern North Carolina, and then southeastern Virginia is our bullseye here. It's a little bit further north than what the models are showing, but I think the models are picking up on some sleet and rain and considering that snow on the very southern end, and this happens a lot with these southeast snowstorms. So that's why I've kind of gone a little bit more conservative with the snow a little bit further south. But definitely the bullseye of 3 to 6 inches I think is going to set up around that blue region. And then I think we definitely have the potential to need to add a little bit of an area of 6 to 10 inches of snow, specifically northeastern North Carolina, I think is going to be the bullseye of this storm. So if there is an area that could see 6 inches plus, it definitely will be that area, maybe into southeastern Virginia, but definitely northeastern North Carolina is going to be right around that bullseye. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media, and I will see you guys in the next video.